Hi everybody, Nick Wagner with Stewart Stewart Attorneys. Next to me on his throne is Darren
You
Stewart.
look tired, like you're going to go to sleep over here on
What?
this or something. You seem like closed your eyes like you're okay.
I was just, you were blinding me. Yeah, it's your head. Anyway, no, I can't talk. So Darren, we get a lot of questions from folks, honest, good questions. And a lot of them have to do with the different scenarios where people can get compensated or get money. And one of those questions is, can I get, I have it down here from earlier, can I still get compensation if I wasn't wearing a seatbelt?
It's a good question, and I do get that question often.
Because you should wear your seatbelt.
A lot of times they're afraid to admit that they weren't wearing it.
Right.
The general rule in Indiana is you take your victim as you find them. And by that I mean, if you run a red light and hit the driver's door of a car, T-bone them, and that person has brittle bone syndrome and they have a fractured arm as a result of the wreck, but a normal person who didn't have brittle bone syndrome would not have sustained a fracture, the doctor says. It doesn't matter. You take your victim, you find them, you're responsible for that broken arm. It's similar with the seatbelt aspect, that you had some maybe injuries from the airbag that the seatbelt would have saved you from. However, the jury is allowed to consider the fact, it's called mitigation of damages. The jury's allowed to consider, well, if you had your seatbelt on, which is the law, maybe you wouldn't have had as bad of injuries. Right. And they might not compensate you as much. They're allowed to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change who's at fault for the wreck. It doesn't change who's responsible for the wreck. So I don't ever consider that to be a torpedo to a case or a big problem with the case. I just don't. You were minding your own business, driving down the road, and but for this person's negligence that hit you, you would have been on down the road living your happy day doing what you were doing. So it doesn't bother me when somebody doesn't have a seatbelt. Now, I think people should wear their seatbelts, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't ruin the case for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, wear your seatbelt, but you might find yourself in a position where you weren't, and don't let that prevent you from calling somebody like us, because at the very least, we'll talk to you about your case, guide you through the initial steps, and kind of, give you that picture of where we're headed and what your case is looking like. So Stewart Stewart Attorneys, call us or visit our website.